Hey guys, Archie Luxury on the Archie Luxury corporate channel. Hello, 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 hello there. Today's topic, we are discussing, will the watch market recover? What do you think, guys? Very good, very good question indeed. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Will the watch market recover? And I think it really, my honest opinion, I just did a great video on the Archie Luxury channel. A great video where I actually looked at what's happening to the market, wristwatch update, market update. I uploaded it. Take a look at the Archie Luxury channel for that after you finish this show. And I think times, Mr. C, thank God, Mr. C. Times are really hard. They're tough. However, I don't think watches is as badly affected as some other asset classes. This is the whole thing. Some other things have been more badly affected, but I gotta tell you, man, I really do think the wristwatch market, people love their wristwatches. They love them. They love the wristwatches. It gives them something to do. Wristwatches has a lot of enjoyment for the punters, and I gotta be totally honest with you. I gotta be honest with you, it's all fantastic. It's all fantastic. It's fantastic. Hey, I ordered the pizza, so I'll come over probably just before lunch, okay? I'll see you then. Bye. Yeah, I'm just going to go and see my two reckless boys, my two sons. I'm trying to get them motivated to make a docudrama. I want to get them filming. Docudrama. I want to see if we can get a series out. Docudrama. So that's what I'd like to see happen. That's exactly what I'd like to try and do there. We'll wait and see. I've got to tell you, man. Got to tell you. It's very tough at the moment there. The wristwatch market is hard. It's hard. Thomas Burnett, £2. Just hang on. I think I got a delivery. Just let me check. No, it wasn't a delivery. It's a crow landing on the roof. Thomas Burnett, two Great British pounds. It's Monday night live with the Pontiff. Blue shirt Buddha respect. Yes, hello blue shirt Buddha and Thomas Burnett. Thank you so much. Guys, this whole wristwatch market, people love their timepieces. They do. They love them. They love timepieces. I love timepieces. The reason I love my timepieces, it's because, man, I honestly, live streaming now. We'll just see. It's half an hour show. That's all I want to do every day. Itcher Bod NYX $2. Thoughts on the new B&R Bell & Ross HUD? Ridiculous and on brand. I gotta be honest with you, Bell and Ross, I gotta be honest with you, that doesn't really do much for me. Bell and Ross, I gotta be honest with you, I don't see much point in doing that type of watch, man. The Bell and Ross sucks. Bell and Ross sucks. It sucks. Okay. HUD. HUD. Hood. 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 Bell and Ross hood. It's okay. Let's bring us baby up. Let's bring her up now. Let's bring her up. It's your hood. Green. It's called Vomit. Green Vomit. Yeah, not really inspired by fighter jets. Yes, indeed, sir. Yeah, just, I think the wristwatch market, it'll reboot. Depends on how nasty this thing goes on for. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hey, I gotta plug my headset in. Who is this? This is the Zeal. We got the Zeal?
Yeah, you didn't expect anyone to show up today, did you?
Nobody turns up. That's it. Bud the Stud, $5. Serious question. Should I wait on a $28,000 white gold Sky another month or so? Or should I buy now? What's up to punters? I hope everyone is wearing a Rolex in health. Seriously? White gold Sky Dweller. He's talking about the steel with the white gold bezel.
Well, the best thing you can do is go to a dealer, offer them a price, and then tell them $5,000 cheaper because it's COVID, right?
I got to be honest with you. I wouldn't be buying Sky Dweller. I'd buy a Patek. I'd buy a Patek for that sort of money. Why would you want to buy a crass utilitarian when you can buy a Patek and you can get unlimited pussy? The pussy may not like you, but it still respects you. It may hate you, but it respects you. Paul M, $2, €2.30. Arch, thoughts on the Black Bay 3641 ETA smooth bezel? And I've got to be totally honest with you. This watch here, it does less than nothing for me. Does less than nothing for me. Yeah, I
just get an Explorer 1, man.
Sorry?
Just get an Explorer 1.
Yeah. I think it's just unmotivating. That's the way it is. How have you been, Tan the man? I've been going on a Porsche fantasy list. You know this?
Yeah, I heard. I heard you're looking at 996s and 944s.
Yeah, actually, I tell you, I'm not interested. I want a 996. If we're going to get a Porsche, I want a 911. That's the only Porsche.
Right.
You know.
With the fried egg headlights and the IMS bearing problems, right?
Yeah, what do you think?
You know what? They're saying it's the bang per buck Porsche right now, at least 911. You just gotta be able to get past the headlights. The headlights has always been kind of the part that everyone hates on those.
See, my in my country, a low mileage 996 can be had for about 50,000 Aussie dollars. That's about 50,000 Canadian.
Right.
What do they cost in your country, Canada?
Yeah, you're probably in the 30. Well, I don't know about low mileage, but you could probably get them around the 30,000 mark. High 20s, low 30s, maybe.
When I say low mileage, I mean under 50,000 kilometers, under 30,000 miles.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, right, you like the 944. That's probably the cheap. I get it. It's not the 911, but, yeah, it's your easy way to get in at a very cheap price.
Yeah, they're getting a bit old, but the 944s or the 968, they're all a bit old.
Yeah, but there's no this is a charm of the pop-up headlights, right? So.
Yeah, but what do you think of that idea, selling a Patek to get a Porsche?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Don't do that. What I do recommend you do is look for a 5524.
Can I say this to you? I've got a friend of mine, right? He's got two Porsches. He's got a 964, which is an air-cooled 911, and he's got a 968. Can I tell you this just secretly between you and me?
Yeah, since nobody's watching, right?
Nobody's watching. he wants me to sell up 2 Pateks to get a Porsche because he secretly doesn't want me to have the Pateks.
Yeah,
He's
like,
jealous I've got 5 Pateks.
Yeah, like I don't see the point. Like, I mean, a 964 and 993. I mean, they're.
Oh no, but they're expensive. 964 in my country is dear. That you can't get a 964.
Yeah,
They're expensive.
Yankee Doodle super chat.
Yankee Doodle super chat. Thank you. We got Ant G. We got Ant G. Here we go. Which just out of interest, sorry. So I just jumped on one from Ant G. Sorry, Ant G. Here we go. Ant G, how much for a Patek stylus and strap?
Ooh.
I've actually got a spare. I got a couple spares. Come to me. Come to me. And what color gold? I've got a spare white gold and I got a spare rose gold. They're a couple $100. And what size strap? You gonna buy a new one or second hand? You want to go aftermarket? I'd highly recommend Aaron Bespoke for a custom strap, but tell me, you got to give me some more info there.
Yeah, the OEM straps for like.
And the other interesting comment here was from this was Rich Buddy, who said any of the 996, if they ain't had the IMS problem by now, there's no point to mod it by now. I think he's just between you and me. I think he's nuts. I would always get that thing fixed. Okay, it's cheap to fix it. Why would you leave it? Why would you seriously? I've had this fight with Rich Buddy. I've had for the sake of it, just fix the fucking thing. It's done, and you don't have to worry. Peace of mind, Rich Buddy. Peace of mind. And Rich Buddy made a comment about a Mini. My neighbor had a Mini Cooper. That's the little you know, the little BMW manufactured. Of course, his daughter worked at BMW. He still had to dump it because of repair. Exactly. They are absolute garbage. There's a great Canadian exotic play place. Do you watch that guy?
No, I don't.
He's a Canadian. He's really into BMWs. And he said Minis are fucking garbage. Yes, it's they are so cute. I love the look of the Mini, but they're fucking garbage. Fucking garbage. Here we go. This is a conversation. Yankee Doodle. This is what we like to talk about. 5146 or world time. What would you say? Tell me seriously. So I think we're talking 5146. That's the annual calendar 39 mil.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, or like, let's say he's saying, what, like a
5130. It'd have to be a 5130 because that's the kind of contemporary
equivalent. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to be totally honest with you. Fuck, that's a fucking good. What would you pick?
I would say the 5146, based off of the practicality of the complication. Like, I mean, the annual calendar is one of the most practical complications. It's what they call the usable complication. Like,
yes.
It's good. Like, I love the world time. Don't get me wrong. I think the world time is a beautiful complication. I just think, like, for day-to-day use, 5146 all day long.
I got to tell you, I think the 5130, it's unloved at the moment. Purists don't really like it. Okay?
Isn't it a little big? Like, what was the size on that one?
Yeah, no, it is. It's 39.5. However, they've actually made it smaller in the new model.
Right.
The new model being the 5230, which I've got a picture just displayed here. However, I reckon the 5130 is always going to go down as the big world time. I reckon that will have extreme bounce. It'll bounce back. I think it will bounce up. And so it's got great investment potential, and it's got the 240 movement, and it's got the deployant clasp. You know what I'm saying, Tan?
You also get the deployant clasp in the 5146. You don't get it in the 5035.
Oh, you still get a deployant clasp in the 5136? 46?
51, yeah, you do. On the new ones, you do. Yeah.
Actually, I saw a bargain on David SW the other day.
Yeah. Which much?
Ant G, $2. Build your perfect Patek. Size, movement, case. I would say, you know what I reckon the most perfect Patek at the moment is?
What do you think?
5230. Because it's 38.5. Okay? Yeah. it's actually not so loved at the moment. It's a little bit unloved as well. But if someone said to me, what would you pick? I would say the 5230 is absolutely, that's it there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people need to understand, like, when Patek talks about like 37, right? Like, it's different than when Lange talks like 38 and a half. Like a 38 and a half Lange is huge. Like, I don't know if you've ever put those on, but those are big watches.
They are big. I wanted to show you something. Sorry to digress.
I think you missed a super chat before this one.
I missed a super chat. Tell me which one. Because this
it's
software.
The one from it's the Horology House guy. It's Chris Horology
House. Chris from Horology House.
Yeah.
Zenith EP Chronomaster open heart with bracelet 4K. Yes or no? Yes. Pull the trigger.
So what was the David SW watch you were talking about? And my answer on the Patek would be probably anything at 38 or 39, 240 movement, white gold case, personally speaking.
Okay, have a look at this. This is David SW's site.
Yeah.
5135G gondola annual calendar 229750. What do you think?
Is that the TV one?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the TV one. Yeah, those are cool.
That's better than a 5146, isn't it?
I like the cool factor that I think those are starting to get. Actually starting to get collectible.
But isn't that cheap? 23 grand from David SW.
Yeah, it's because like that little TV screen style case is not very popular, but I think it's cool.
But on the Pateks, the TV style perpetuals went through the roof. They're hot as anything.
Exactly. And
I think that's a bargain at 23. I got to be honest with you. My world time is worth more than that.
Yeah, it is.
And that's a better watch.
Yeah, it's like a 25, 26K watch. I think that like the annual calendar complication is one it's very undervalued. And it's so useful. Like literally you change the date like once a year. Like when I had one, it was amazing. Put it on the winder.
This is a nice modern size. It's contemporary.
Yeah, I think a square or rectangular watch is. I think that's the part that throws people off. Like it's like a reverso. Like when I was selling Jin my reverso, I wasn't sure. He'd never seen one. He'd never worn.
I'm glad
one.
You got it back.
Yeah, no, me too. I was a little concerned because it was sight unseen he was buying it, and then I know reversos are like either you love them or you hate them. It's not really ever in the middle, kind of a thing. So I think this is the case shape. It's like I can't wear a Monaco. I've always tried to wear that square.
They're very big.
Case. Yeah, I just can't wear them. But a reverso looks great. I love the reverso.
Yeah, I'm actually, speaking of which, I'm wearing my reverso today. That's my beater. That's my steel beater, by the way.
You got another super chat here from S.
Super chat. Here we go. S. Medina, $2. Pick one. Ceramic 9.5 thousand GMT black or 11.5 Sea Dweller 4000. That's the 40 mil. I would have to say out of those there, I'd probably go GMT black.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Sea Dweller 4K. Yeah,
the Sea Dweller 4K is a great watch. It's got potential, but do you buying an investment or do you want something to use? You know what I mean? People get too fucked up in this shit here. Is it a tell me this, Tan. I've been looking at these Porsches, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just so I know, say I bought a 2002 996 with low Ks.
Yeah.
What would I be looking at for, say, a service?
So I'll tell you what my service costs are, which I'm sure.
Well, yours is new, but so
it doesn't really matter.
What's a service? What's an oil?
So for me, I'm at the major service right now. It's the 4 years, or 40, or I think 60,000 kilometer major service. So which is essentially it's oil change, spark plugs, visual inspection. It's basically just bullshit.
Okay, how much?
So the dealer wants 1,800 plus tax. It's called $2,000. $2,000 with tax. So then I said, okay, well, I called my guy at Porsche, and he's like, well, you could go to an independent, and as long as they use OEM parts, it'll be just fine. Yeah, it'll be just fine. And so I quoted an independent, and they're like 1,500 plus tax. Well, for fucking $300, like I might as well just go to the damn dealer, you know. So
Yes.
I mean, they're not cheap, right? Tires. I mean, I put Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's on mine, and those are like $2,000. So like
that's
you're gonna use
$2,000
tires.
a set. $2,000 a set.
Yeah, so call it 2 years. You're gonna go through tires. Yeah, like it's not gonna be cheap.
How about brakes and rotors and pads?
$3-4 grand. Depends if you're gonna go OEM or if you
$3
go
or $4,000. What each?
Yeah.
That's it's all up. $3 or $4 grand.
That's for your set. That's for the whole.
Now tell me this: if I got a 4S, you know the Carrera 4S, right?
Mm-hmm. The all-wheel drive. Yeah.
Someone told me if you can't just change 2 tires at the front, you've got to do the whole set.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure you could just change. You could just do it 2. I don't know if you need to do 4, but I don't know too much about the all-wheel drive system on that. But I mean, at the end of the day, if I was changing tires, I'd probably do 2 at a time. Versus like
Rich Buddy's got a 2004 996 C4S, has 80,000 miles, oil 220, brakes 2,000, occasional 1 to 300 for odd repairs until everything is newer.
Yeah, but is all that OEM parts? Is that aftermarket parts? Like what is it?
Okay, fair point. Tell me this. I don't understand why the C4S was more expensive new, but it's worth less on the pre-owned market.
Yeah, so Rich Buddy says it's 2. It's 2 at a time.
What's that?
It's 2 tires at a time. It's not 4.
Okay. Why are the C4Ss worth less than the C2s? I don't know why.
Well, it's because people want, like, the 911's a rear-wheel drive car. Well, historically a rear-wheel drive car. Right.
Yeah.
So people want it's like if you have it's like saying why are Speedmasters that are automatic cheaper than manual one? You know what I mean? It's the same story.
Okay. And the other thing I don't understand is why are coupes more expensive on the pre-owned market than a cabriolet?
Well, contrary to popular belief, like, a lot of people buy sports cars don't necessarily buy or want a convertible. They want a car that's more stable. They want the coupe version. But here's the caveat with Porsche.
You're thinking cabriolet, but the Targa is more expensive than all of them. It's more desired. The Targa is like which is quote unquote you could say it's convertible, but because it's just more desirable because Porsche history was they made the Targa historically to be their whole answer to, well, the Americans might have these laws coming up in, I think it was in the 60s.
Yeah, 70s.
Yeah, where they were worried that, like, the U.S. is going to have these laws.
You had that madman Ralph Nader, dangerous at any speed. He was a fucking maniac, that guy. He did so much damage to the car industry.
It's funny because in the chat, people are saying, hey, I love the Targa, I hate the Targa. Personally speaking, I love them. I think they're amazing. But again, it's a nostalgia thing, right? Like, this is the whole thing.
You got a coupe, haven't you?
I have a coupe, right?
You have a C2S, don't you?
I have rear-wheel drive, yes.
So it's the S as well? You got an S?
I have an S, yeah.
Yeah.
An S is like 30 grand, isn't it?
I mean, an S is more expensive than obviously the standard Carrera, but I mean, you don't see. Interesting enough, you don't see a lot of just Carreras. You see more S's than standard Carreras.
Here we go. The Gazillionaire, $2. Finally, a decent guest. Tan Zeal. I always am honored to have the Zeal on the show.
Well, the show had been sinking. I've seen a couple of days worth of the show sinking, so I was like, well, we can't have a sinking ship again. So I figured.
Tan, I wanted to say this to you. When do you think the watch market, today's question, is it going to recover? When's it going to recover? And I think once this COVID thing dies down...
It's a good question, but which watch market? Are you talking about pre-owned watches? Or are you talking new watches?
Oh, pre-owned. Because we don't care about...
Like, here's the thing. Like, it's a good analogy in the stock market, right? Like, bulls make money, bears make money, right? In any market. Like, a dealer is going to buy watches just cheaper now and then sell them cheaper, right? It's not like they're going to... The ones that really would get, like, hurt really hard are those that have a stockpile of watches that they overpaid for. right?
Yeah.
But even David SW has been lowering prices. Like, and he's usually like, and I bought multiple watches from him, and his watches are pristine. They always come pristine.
David SW, you've got to factor in, he is the premium end of the market. He is not, you know, super cheap, because he has the best stuff. Honestly,
yeah, it's someone you
he's trusted, you know. And I actually had a situation where I had a problem with one of my watches that I bought from him. I bought an Explorer 2 black dial, and he sent a newer box. And I said, hey, Dave, like, I didn't know that it was going to come with a newer box. He said, no problem. He's like, let me source you. He's like, let me source you an original box, and you're good to go. Like, he's that kind of a guy where his business will stand behind the product. So, yeah, you might pay a little bit more, but you don't have to worry with someone fucking around with you. So anyways, he's lowering, you know, prices on Daytonas, and he's buying them for cheaper. So, like, I mean, I think the consumer is going to benefit. I don't think dealers are going to go out of business, especially with all the stimulus that's going around, you know, for small businesses across the world, and that's fine. Like, I'm okay. I don't want dealers to go down, because dealers represent a good part of the market.
Would you ever buy a 5127?
I had a 5127.
Would you ever buy another one?
If I were to buy another one, I would buy.
How much did you sell yours for?
Canadian, I sold it for, I think, 22 or 23 maybe thousand.
See, that was cheap. You sold it cheap.
I don't think it was that cheap. I think I bought it for like 20.
Yeah, wow, amazing.
I mean, yeah, and here's the thing. I sold it within, I think it was 48 hours. And my 5035, 48 hours. So everyone who's saying, oh, like, we can't move Teletravel, like, that's bullshit. If you buy it right, you can move them, no problem.
Yeah, you've got to price it right. That's the thing, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's you know, that's the thing. If you don't,
do you miss those watches? Do you if someone said to you, right, here you go, Tan the man, here is the 5127 back and the 5035, and I want your Porsche, what would you say?
Nah, I wouldn't do it for that. I mean, to me, it's. I mean, I purchased a Porsche outside of my watches. To me, it's special. It's a car I've always wanted since I was a kid. You know, I grew up in the '80s, so I was.
A 911 is.
Yeah, like, amazing. I mean, you see like an '80s 911. You'd see a 944 back then, like. You know,
I was in love with the '90s 964s. I've always loved the 964.
The 964 is an amazing car.
Zinger modifies those, doesn't he? I think.
Singer does modify them. I think they. I don't know if they modify 993s, but I know they modify 964s. 964 is arguably one of the most beautiful 911s, if not the most beautiful 911. You know, you put a nice set of wheels on that. People lower them. Like, they're just amazing cars.
I like stock Tan. Don't lowering or changing wheels.
Well, you know what? A lot of people at this point in time, because they want to do something different. You'll see a lot of them that are like that. You know, and Singer, what they do is they'll do new upholstery, and like the cars that they make are just insane.
They're expensive.
Yeah, they are. But here's the thing. Doug DeMuro did a video a few days ago, and he basically said cars that he feels are going to lose value or they're going to go down in value. And first thing he said was vintage Porsches. And he didn't mean like vintage in the 60s Porsches, but he's like the Porsches from the 80s, right? So the 964s, the 993s. He's like, there's just too many of them. He's like, and the reality is 70% of Porsches that were produced are still on the road, right? So he's like, there's just too many of them out there. So there's no way they should be continuing to go up in value, you know? So, and the other one was Japanese cars. You know, he's like, well, people thought that, oh, you know, I lusted after these cars in the 90s when, you know, people were looking for GTRs and stuff like that. They're like, yeah, but it doesn't hold the same brand loyalty that like a Ferrari does or a Porsche does. Like, kids that were driving those Japanese cars then are now into BMW M3s, right? They're not going downstream to be like, oh, I want to buy a 3000 GT or something.
Yeah, I understand. Porsche is probably the greatest. I mean, let me say this to you, okay? Don't take this the wrong way, Tan. But the 911 is absolute bulletproof, right? I think that's an entry-level supercar. Is that wrong to say?
I wouldn't go so far as saying it's a supercar. I think some of them, like the variants, are like a GT2 RS is a supercar. I think that the 911's a sports car. Right? It's not a supercar.
Well, I mean, a sports car, in my opinion, is an MX-5, a Miata. That's a sports car.
Yeah, it is a sports car.
Okay,
right?
the Porsche is not it's a super. That's a fucking. It would tear the ass off a Miata. The thing is, Tan, would you be tempted to go Ferrari or Lamborghini, or you don't want to go there?
Between those two, I would. No, I would.
Or McLaren? Would you ever go McLaren?
No, I wouldn't go McLaren. I like McLarens. I have a friend who owns a McLaren, and it just when you have to get anything fixed on that thing, it's just fucked.
It makes Ferrari look like a Mazda.
Yeah, like and you can buy certain Ferraris that are not that expensive to maintain. Like I think the 360 is pretty affordable-ish to maintain.
What about a 599, something like that?
I don't think that's going to be that cheap to maintain.
Or a 612, Scalati, Scalaletti, the.
Well, what about the Dino, man? You used to talk about the Dinos back in the day.
Like, you used to be a car YouTuber as well.
I love those, but they are ridiculously expensive,
Yeah, and that's the thing, right?
People who, at the time, in the 60s and 70s, that liked those Ferraris, right? Like, now they're older and they have money and they buy them, right?
I got to tell you what, you could have bought any. You basically spent $100,000 on your Porsche, didn't you?
That's right.
Canadian, right?
That's right.
You could have gone vintage. You could have gone modern. You could have done anything.
Like I mean, you could do okay. I could have gone and bought a fucking Lamborghini Gallardo, but like I didn't want to do that, right? Like it's why would I, right?
You could have got a very nice air cooled, top of the range.
I could, yeah, air cooled ones. Like you could probably get them 20 or 30,000 cheaper than what I bought mine for. I could have bought a 993. I could have bought a 964.
So when you bought yours, mm-hmm. Yours is a what's yours? Yours is a 992, is it?
Mine's a 991.2.
It's the generation right before the 992.
Okay, and it was how old when you bought it? 2 years.
2 years. It was manufactured in 16, but it's a 17 model.
Okay, and how many Ks did it have on it?
It had just under 20,000. It was brand new.
Very quickly, there's Stephen Phillips, five pound. Is Craig Shipp a creepy fucker? I love Craig Shipp, but I'm afraid to say it. I think he is actually creepy. Okay, there's a bolt loose in that guy, and he actually owned a Gullwing. Did you know Craig Shipp actually owned a Gullwing Mercedes? He sold for 16,000.
Jesus Christ!
This was in the 80s. Okay.
It's like you saw in the plastic red subs back in the day.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what? So
I'm in the market to actually buy a 993 or a 964. Like, they're not.
Oh, you want another car? What? Don't you get enough fill out of your one?
I do, but I do like these cars, and I was, I'm in the market to see if I can find a good one.
Where I'm at, a lot of them.
How about getting a modern Cayman or something like that?
No, I have that's the thing, right? The modern car I have is the 911, right? Like, if I'm gonna go vintage, like I would go with a vintage
911. To me personally, like it's just they're a lot smaller too. I don't know if you've ever seen them beside the newer ones. Yes. They're so much smaller. Yes. It's like it's the little go-kart.
I love. I love the 912. Remember the early 4-cylinder?
Yeah, it's the one that nobody loves. You love that one.
Yeah. Well, they're coming back a bit.
And you probably like the 914s? Pull up a 914. Porsche 914.
Yeah, the Porsche, that was very wedgy. You know what I mean? It was very.
They're going up in value though. People. I don't know why.
And people hated them. They were the first mid-engine Porsche that was commercial. Well, they had mid-engine race cars, but this was mid-engine. Right. Commercially available.
It's just not a very loved car. Like
but it's going on.
They were expensive. Porsche didn't make a lot of money out of this project.
Yeah, it was in this with. Yeah, I think this was one with Volkswagen. Volkswagen, they pulled out.
They the best one was the 914 with the 6 in it. That was they had the 911 engine in it.
People in the chat are saying 924 turbo.
Yeah, I don't mind the 92. Do you like the 92? I think they're very classic.
I think
they've been molested.
The
A lot of them have been molested. You know this, don't you?
But that's the thing. People bought them and they drove them, right? Like back in the 80s and the 90s, like you'd see like, well, not 90s is like probably 944, but 80s you'd see 944s. You know, and the 924 is a predecessor. I mean, these are transaxle cars, front engine, like, but these were fucking cool, man. Like, I remember as a kid just seeing them driving down the road, and I was just like, man, this is the car I want.
Yes, they were like a poor man's 928.
I don't know, but this is the thing, right? Like, this is a car that you could, you know, in Brisbane, you could probably find at a good price, you know, and be able to drive and have the experience of, you know, a nice Porsche. Like, this is what I'm saying. So yes, if you want to stretch and go 996, go for it. If not, I mean, like, a lot of people in the chat are saying it's great values and they're good first Porsches.
Yeah, I got to tell you the truth. I think the best thing I can do is actually tan. You know, I've only ever had 6 months in my life as an adult where I haven't had a carryover balance on my credit card.
Well, here's the thing.
You're coming up to your 50th. You gotta fucking live sometime, right?
It's the truth. I mean, you
want to die in your fucking Honda, or do you want to at least have a Porsche? Like,
That's a
what's
good
the point of living if you can't live?
Good point. 944 looks like a Mazda. That's because Mazda copied them. That's why. That's why. You remember the RX-7?
Yeah, but it's a very 80s look, and yeah, it does. You know, it does kind of look like an RX-7. But even RX-7s are going up in price because people want these old rotary engine, you know, Japanese cars that, you know, are good for drifting and shit. Like, people like these cars.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I
That
started
decide
thinking.
Says you want to be buried with 5 Pateks driving a Honda. I agree. Like, I don't know.
What do you think of this? But can I ask you this?
Yeah, you show. I think
you show me
a
this.
stupid Porsche. How about this? The 5134 Patek.
Yeah, you showed me this before.
You don't like it?
They're nice. I mean, can
you open up the picture a bit so I can. The bezel's flat. Yeah.
The bezel's flat. It's using a 215 manual wind movement.
Yeah.
Like, what's the size of these? Are these 37?
37.
Yeah. Which is interesting because Patek shows a display back on these ones, but doesn't show it on the 5196, even though they're the same size.
Yeah. It's kind of the styling of it there, but
you get a super chat from a Brisbane grammar graduate.
Oh, yes. Fella, sorry, very quickly there. Fella. Here we go. $2. Describe a stockbroker in Sydney watch and clothing. I got to tell you, most of these Sydney stockbrokers have gone guts up. That's what's happening. Describe a Sydney stockbroker in Sydney.
Like, what would they be wearing? What kind of watch? What kind of clothing?
Man, they'd have the 80s braces. You know, the red braces.
Okay.
The paisley tie, the red braces, arrogant as fuck. What sort of watch they would have? I've actually met one of these guys. He had a Breguet manual wind in white gold.
It's an interesting watch too.
And he had this sexy Chinese wife who used to wind it every morning for him. And then I actually bought it from him for $4,000. I sold it to Shani at Vintage, a European watches in Melbourne for $4,400. I made $400. I was happy.
I mean, this is a cool watch. I mean, you have the Breguet numerals. Like, the case is pretty, you know, it's pretty nice. You got the crown guards, 215 movement. It's a historic movement. Like, there's nothing wrong with this watch. And I'm pretty sure you could probably get these on a discount because they probably aren't very popular. Like,
no, they're not very. Yeah, I think it's a. I got to tell you seriously, Tan. I'd really love to get a 5170. That's kind of the. They're not cheap. They're not cheap, but
They're not, and yeah, I mean, it's up to what you like, right? Again, you know my philosophy on the same money. You can get you can get a perpetual calendar. To me, that's the end all be all. To you, you like these. A lot of people like these watches. These hold good value if you buy them right.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a historic watch. I mean, again, everybody's gonna say 50, 70 as opposed
Yes,
to
of course, but that's
5170
more
because
expensive. That's just,
exactly.
you know, it's what you can afford, isn't it? I don't have unlimited money, unfortunately. Do the Pateks? Are you going to get some? You're going to get another Patek soon, or the desire for another Porsche is stronger? What's stronger there, Tan?
you know, it's funny. Whenever it's warm here in Canada, it's always the car. You saw it last year.
Yeah,
And then
I know.
when it
The
gets
super
cold,
chats
yeah.
went down. Jesus Christ, did I see it? The super
You
chats
hate it,
went
yeah.
through the floor.
Yeah, you hated it last year, and then when it gets
Yeah.
colder in October, it's like, well, you know, back to watches. So, you know, and it's not like, and you said, like, the market's not exactly, you know, some of these, like, the Pateks are not going down. You know, people with Pateks are holding them. They don't need to sell them, right? They're people in different financial standings that don't need to get rid of their watches, I guess. So
Here we go, Yankee Doodle, $5. I'm struggling between a Lange Saxonia and a Patek Calatrava E-Class and Hyundai G80. Need help deciding? No! I disagree. I think both of those absolutely beautiful.
yeah, they think about it
I
like this,
disagree.
right?
I think it's like comparing a Bentley to a Maybach. Okay, they're the same genre. Come on, come on. Don't Hyundai. That would be a Grand Seiko Creedor in there, something stupid like that. That would.
Here's the thing about Lange.
I'll use analogies today since I'm seems to be my MO these days. Analogy of what a
Yes.
Lange is a Maserati. Okay, beautiful to look at. Everyone loves the sound of a Maserati. You don't want to fucking own one, you know, especially not buy one new because you know that shit's gonna go down in value. Whereas a Patek's gonna stay. You know, if you've already bought it through depreciation, will pretty much stay stable.
Yeah.
You know,
And if you buy, but if you buy a Saxonia on the secondary market,
Oh, I'm telling you, man.
David SW himself, I remember he had a Lunga 1 on his
yeah,
website for 6 fucking months. I was negotiating with him on it. And
yeah,
he was like, yeah, like he was trying to sell it pretty hard. And it's just if the biggest watch dealer in the world or one of the biggest watch dealers in the world struggles to sell a Lunga 1, which was not an undesirable metal. I think it was in white gold. Yeah, like I don't know about getting into a Lunga. Beautiful watches, nothing against them. I just would not put my money in them.
here we go. Thomas Burdett, £2. Porsche or Patek 5539
Ooh.
minute repeater tourbillon. Oh, fuck! Let's just bring up a
you
five.
a pretty
This
nice,
is
yeah.
a Patek. What is it? 5539. I don't even know these super references.
It's a brigade numeral. It's a brigade numeral.
Tourbillon.
Yeah, they're a bit small. They're not huge.
Yeah, but that's like, I mean, if you're asking like a basic 911 versus that, I'd get them in a repeated tourbillon for sure.
Yeah.
It depends what numeral you're talking about.
Tell me this. Tell me this. Really, with the Pateks themselves, there. Do they give you joy? Do you love your Pateks? What makes you love them? I gotta tell you this, Tad. No bullshit. I know you asked me to this, but I want to be completely honest with you. In our lives, we are influenced by, they say, 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like my father said to me, I'll tell you some 10 cutting points, okay? One moment was my father said to me, he said, "What are you doing wanting to bring the Thai woman back?" He said, he's a bit racist, my old man. He goes,
Right.
"If you want, I don't know why you want these Asian women, but if you want one, why don't you get one at least with PR?"
It's not bad. It's not bad advice.
And he said, "And if you're really sensible, why don't you get one with PR and a job?" Okay, okay. And that's why I've married the Japanese one. That's a defining moment in my life. Okay.
Right.
Another defining moment in my life was when Tan Zeal egged me on about the Pateks. And you were just joking. You're just being a bit of a dick. You're a bit smart-assy. But it changed my life, Tan.
Well, everybody who watches your show knows how much you love the brand, number one, and how much you love those watches. And at the end of the day, I mean, I watched your video today on the 6006, you know, and
Yes.
that's a watch that, like, you know, it's a lot of people love, and it's a polarizing watch, but you love that brand, you love the watch, you love the styling, you love the movement, like, you're just not like, remember when you had the gold Submariner, like, you'll
Yes.
never get fulfillment out of those watches.
No. And I've got to tell you, Tan the man, you said to me, I remember I even made fun of it, and I said, I don't want an Italian dial.
Right.
And I got to tell you, Tan, I apologize. I was an idiot. I was just jealous it wasn't mine. It's like the
It was a,
girl at school you tease. You tease her because you secretly want to fuck her.
It was a cool watch because it had the slate gray dial,
It
which is
was
not as
amazing.
common.
I think that's
Yeah.
got huge potential. That could be $100,000 watch in 20 years' time.
yeah, that's a thing.
Like the 90s models in not just Patek, but a lot of watch brands
Mm.
hasn't really caught on yet as vintage, right?
Well, the
And
thing
people
is
haven't
this.
really
I
looked
think
into
that 90s stuff, they weren't producing anywhere near as much stuff as they do today. Today, they produce so many complications.
right. No, it's true. It's true.
Back in the
And
90s, it was kind of novel. They were selling 5035s were selling for a premium.
yeah,
And
and they were purposely built smaller because Philippe Stern wanted it to be that way. He
he
didn't want a
wanted it to
larger
be
watch.
like a 3940. And I gotta tell you, Tan, you're the one who forced. And the other, I had the world time. If I had a sold, and I also want to thank Sid, because if I had sold my Patek, my world time at the time, it's the only one I had,
you
I
got a
wouldn't have
super
gone into
credit.
more Pateks. I would not.
Tom,
Thomas G, €5. Yes, Pateks are great and everything, but Arch needs a golden sub and not 5 identical dress watches.
But even that term, dress watches, right? Like, I mean,
Everything is a
people are,
dress watch
yeah,
now. You know this?
yeah,
Everything
like,
is a dress watch. Rolex, that's not a tool watch anymore.
yeah, like, and people are wearing watches on leather straps. People are putting, you know, date justs on leather straps, and they're putting a bunch of things on leather straps these days, and they're just wearing dressed down. Like,
Yankee Doodle, $2.10. Thoughts on the 5040 and 5940?
yeah, those are perpetual calendars. The 5940 is like,
That's the
again, it's
50. That's the
60.
that's the tornado shape one.
That's right. And you got, what's the size difference between the two? That's really, I think, the difference, right? Is the size. So I think they both
Yeah,
use a 240 movement, right?
yeah. You're right. Let's have a look here.
I like the 50. Yeah, I like the 5940 in the white gold. I think it has like a white dial, if I remember correctly, a white or a, I know there's a black dial one. I think there's a white dial one as well. Brigade numerals. I think they're cool watches, man. Like, it's very you know, it's not very typical Patek where you got a circular style watch, and yeah, like, I'm all for them.
So
Perpetual
so the
calendar. Those ones are going up and down.
5940 is
Mm-hmm.
37 mils
Mm-hmm.
by 44 mils. So it's 37 mil watch, right?
yeah.
Quite short, like the length of it, and it's. I gotta be totally honest with you. They were mega money. These are not for poor people. You do understand that, don't you?
And these are going up too. People are starting to appreciate these watches now.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I think any PC would be amazing. I got to be honest with you. I honestly, did you read the story about Jake Erwick and he
Here's
wanted a
3940.
3940?
Yep. Yep. That's one thing. That's one you did send me.
And also Ben Climbers like that too. That was one of the first when he started to become rich. That was one of the first really cool watches he bought.
You got another super chat here from Dave
Here we
Coffey.
go. David Coffey, thoughts on the Hulk 5905 P-014. So that's the annual calendar chronograph 5905 P. That is fucking gorgeous. I don't care what anyone fucking says. That watch is absolutely fucking fucking amazing. And you know what? I know somebody at the moment who's thinking of selling that to get a 5980. That's the Nautilus chronograph two-tone.
Yeah.
I mean,
honestly, man, unless the Nautilus Perpetual, it's about the only other Nautilus I want outside of the 5711. Like I told that to Victor at the 5712.
Is he okay, Victor? Do you talk to him much?
I haven't talked to him for maybe a month or two, but
is he okay?
Yeah, I think he's fine. But yeah, like he has a 5712, and you know, like I never really liked the 5712. It's either the 5711 or the Perpetual calendar. I think those are the only two Nautiluses, Nautili, as you say, that I'd be interested in.
What about the 5726?
Nah, it's a cool watch, but there's other things I'd buy with that money. There's other things I'd buy with that money. Not.
But I gotta say this: the 5905.
This is a cool watch.
This is a cool watch. It's not cool. It's amazing. It's a life changer. Would you? Yeah. Could that be Is that an exit watch or not?
100%.
Absolutely.
Is it better than a PC? Perpetual calendar?
No.
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 The only thing I'm gonna say is better than a perpetual calendar is going to be the famous. I would say 5970 would be, I think would be better, but.
And gee, $2. Why does the 6006 remind me of alphabet soup? I don't think it does. Do you?
It's a busy watch. Don't get me wrong. That's the part that people hate about it. Is it's just the dial is too busy for certain people. And, you know, it's either you love it or you hate it. Like, I remember when I was looking at a 6000, that's what everyone said.
It's a bit like the Air King. It's got so many numbers there. It's a bit like the Air King.
I think it's cleaner than the Air King. I think the 6006 is a lot cleaner. I don't like the little crescent on the 6000. It just reminded me too much of, like, JLC, Master Calendar. Like, it just...
Yeah.
Wasn't really... But the 6006 is...
Tell me this, Tanzil... These are the same price. That model is the same price as a weekly calendar. What would you prefer?
Well, I think the weekly calendars, if you were to get one like new, I would get the weekly calendar.
Yeah, it's still, it is cool. It is cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's the font is retro. Like, it's a cool watch.
They're selling way over retail, you know.
They are, but I mean that could also be that it's new, right? And it depends. Yeah, it depends what they really do with that watch and how much they produce of that watch.
But what would you prefer, ignoring money, 6006 or a weekly calendar?
For a dial that's busy, I'd probably still go with the weekly calendar. I just like it better.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. It is amazing. And you know what I think the sleeper is? Any of the Patek Neptunes, because any steel Pateks are starting to come up. You get a steel Neptune. Sure.
The Neptune is again, it's very unloved. You know, it has that quirky bracelet that not everybody's a fan of. You know, and I think did one of the Neptunes have? It was the same layout as the 5712, right?
That was the 5085, wasn't it?
That's right. That's right.
50, or was it the 50?
It's 5085. You're right. No, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, which is. I mean, it had the same complication as the 5712. Anyways, I gotta skip. But
okay, man. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for your time. I'll be back here tomorrow. Tanzil, thank you for saving the show. It was great chatting watches and Porsches. That's good chat. No lady boys, no stuff like that. So I want to thank you, Tan. Thank you so much, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow, guys.
See you guys.